Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 Quindlina. Hello, Joe. Hello, Zach. How you guys doing? Hello, Kodiak. Greetings. No signal. Check if cables are properly secured. Okay, now it will work. Hello. Today on my own stream, I did a lot of work. Hello, Roger. Hello, Gary. I have done a lot of work on my own stream. I've been working on a giant mech, basically. And I painted the top part, finished the shoulder with all the free hands. These are all painted by hand, and it's been taking me not very long, actually. Kind of happy with how fast this is going, and we can all thank the Lord for giving us speed. So, and I've also been working on this lady. Boop. This lady here. And I wanted to ask you guys, what do you want me to paint tonight with you? Because I can either keep going with this lady and finish her off, or I can do the skin tone on this other lady here. So you guys tell me what you want to do, because for me it's the same, really. I am out of Reaper minis anyway, so until I get a new care package, I'm gonna have to paint something else on these streams. So you guys tell me what you want to see, and I will BBD. BBD. Hello, Archon. You guys? I don't have dwarves to paint. I'm sorry, Claudia. Skin tone? Okay, we can do this one. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna have to repaint the skin tone anyway, because I think it's a little bit too greenish. So we're gonna go and repaint it. What is the color? What do I keep? Okay. You guys are a bunch of trolls. You know that? A bunch of trolls. Despicable trolls. All right, so beeped, booped, bepped, beep, bit more baby bit more baby. To go lighter here. Okay. Okay, I really like this color a lot more. Is this the one where you mix? It actually doesn't have any green in it. It's a very grayed out yellow, but it looks green. As you know, I am always looking for ways to improve my painting, going out of my comfort zone. It's a very stressful life, to be honest, but it pays off, or at least it has been paying off for the last few years. It's always good to change your perspective when you can. Okay, so that's a good starting point. We can desaturate this one and add a bit of yellow to this. For the shadow. Sorry, I have like a stuffed nose. Hello, Asgard. How you doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Or today, whatever time it is where you live. What have you been up to? Just quickly sketching here the skin again. Getting a shadow and a mid-tone going. Painting only really works when you have a clear definition between light and darks. Otherwise, you lose the paint job. If your shadows mix with your lights, then you lose the 3D-ness. A big part of what makes a paint job look like a canvas painting is exactly this step. Fine, nice. This step is really, really important. Okay. Next up, we can go look for a light. Light needs to be much brighter. Yeah, something like that works out. What wet palette do you use? I use a Green Stuff Worlds wet palette. All of the components are from Green Stuff. The sponge, the paper. I really like this palette. Okay. After this stage, we can pretty much blend. If you have any other question, just ask, all right? Okay. See how quickly, like, this is the sketch, this is the more blended area, like how quickly you can get it done. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, Gimli. Thank you for the sub. When did you discover you liked Fate? When I was 14. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be painting dwarves for a very, very long time. I will be painting a dwarf on my own stream at some point, but it's a 75 mil. Okay, from here, we can just sketch a bit lighter. Too light. I mean, I can paint it on this stream, but it's not a Reaper Mini. Okay, let's do a bit of work with the shadows. Hello, Zav. See that slowly but surely is starting to look decent. And the process from which I achieve this kind of painting is, in a way, repetitive, in the sense that I paint everything like this. What changes between like a high quality paint job and something I do a bit more chill is the amount of details that I put into it. But the technique, like for example, the difference between this guy and this guy is just the details that I put in the painting. But the technique is the same. So on a technical level, I'm, I guess, monotone in the way I paint, but most painters are. The way I paint is similar in terms of technique to Kirill Kanaev. The model will be on my Patreon in a few days. Hello, Chibi. Maybe this is not my stream. Yeah, that's why. This is not my stream. This is Reaper stream. I stream from here every week on Wednesday for 2 hours. But it's not my stream. We're just working on the gradients here. I want to make sure that the light looks like light. And for that, I have to push contrast as much as I need to in order for it to be lighter and different enough from the midtone I picked so that it looks like a light. It's very difficult to explain, really, because it's a mixture between perception of color and contrast. It needs to have enough contrast so that it is effectively lighter, but it also needs to be vibrant in the sense that the color needs to feel a bit alive. So you need to move between colors a bit, and you also have to make sure that you're going much lighter. The problem is that if you go too light, then it doesn't look like a light anymore, it looks like something else. So finding that sweet spot can be difficult. With practice, you get it automatically, and especially if you're not shy of using recipes, once you find like a recipe that works for you, you just spam it, basically. I have the issue that I never use recipe. And I call it an issue because it makes my painting slower due to the fact that every single model I do, I will be mixing colors differently. I don't have a recipe in... Hello, Nikasi. I don't have a recipe in the sense that it's not like I will always mix different colors that I haven't used before with other colors that I haven't used before. Even if I'm looking for the same exact skin tone I painted another time, I won't get it by using the same paints because that's just how I am, I guess. I'm an idiot. But if you do use recipes and you're happy with, you know, being like, oh yeah, this one worked for me, looked good, then you can just use it all the time. But again, for me, it's more about painting is not about the result, even though I care a lot about the result because, you know, I'm a commission painter. So I need to make sure that my stuff looks good enough to sell. But the actual reality behind why I paint is the journey of learning everything there is to be learned. So I always try to put myself in situations in which I'm at a disadvantage. And it's like it's a subconscious thing, really. Like sometimes I don't want to do it, but I still do it anyway because that's just how I am. You do learn a lot doing it, but you also cause yourself an immense amount of stress. Okay. So we can have a bit of fun now with the light here. Because like this is shadow, but it is gonna catch light from the ambient, which can be, for example, the sky. And this is another thing which I'm fighting with on a daily basis. Like really understanding these concepts is difficult, but I enjoy it. I would like a bit more saturation in my mid-tone. Okay. I don't like how much my palette is thinning my paints lately. I need to figure out why it's doing it like this. I've been using distilled water in the palette, and I'm thinking that maybe, like, do you think it's possible that distilled water goes through the paper faster and in bigger quantities than normal water does? Because technically it's lighter water, right? So maybe it does. I'm not a water scientist. God damn it. You won't have any impurity, so maybe. I guess. I don't know. It's weird though. more into astrology. What sign do you think your palette is? I don't know, I'm a Scorpio. I don't know when I bought it. When have I bought the palette? Probably a water sign. Ha! It wouldn't have any other chemicals in it compared to tap water that has been treated. I guess. I have, and it spat water at me. Basing it on my best friend, who is a typical Leo, stubborn, power-loving, and my way or the highway. You know, I don't really believe in astrology, but like there are some times in which I do. Because like, for example, I'm a Scorpio, and I'm literally the exact definition of a Scorpio. Like if you look up what a Scorpio is, that's me. My girlfriend, she's also a Scorpio, and she's also the definition of it. You are such a Scorpio. I know, right? Welcome back, Chibi. Yes, we're painting a butt. I don't like how thin the paint gets, man. I really don't like it. I'm way more used to working with thick paint. Because as the paint thins out... Let me have a quick cigarette. As the paint thins out, you have problems with the contrast. Like, I did, yeah, but the problem is not the paint being thin. The problem is that it thins out on the palette after a few seconds on it. Maybe I should go back to normal tap water, man. Maybe really it is the distilled water. Why don't you use tap water instead? I don't know. I was like, let's try to be fancy and use distilled water for a minute. See what changes. And what changes is that, I don't know, like all of my paints are water. Like I do thin them a little bit, but not as much as they end up being on the palette. Like you can see it, how wet everything is. Not in a good kind of wet. Hello, Gon. Good day, sir. Being fancy leads to disaster. Noted. Take the water out of it. I do have just a moist sponge though. Fuck. Like I don't have much water in the sponge. But see how watery it is? Like the blue just moved into another paint. So yeah, I guess I'll go back to normal water. Because the problem when you're painting with very thin paint is that you lose contrast a lot. So if you sketch, you lose contrast. And if you blend, you lose even more contrast. Because like the colors that I have on my palette are difficult to, it's difficult to show, but like if you look at the model and the colors next to it, so the god damn it, this line here is my skin tone recipe, right? If you look at the mini itself, even on this palette here, it doesn't have the same colors on it. Like the colors dry grayer because they lose power. You think it was the bacteria that were helping my painting? Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. I don't know. Or maybe the sponge has two sides. Or maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. Maybe probably I'm an idiot. But like, for example, okay, so let's get a new color, which is basically the same color that I just used. Instead of mixing it, I can just pick a random color that is like the one I mixed. Because that's how painting works, right? You either mix everything from scratch, or you can just buy paints that have colors. So this color here that I'm putting on my palette right now is pretty much the same color that I ended up mixing for the lady. Now, I would like it to freaking work. Because I want my light to have intensity to it. I don't want to lose color like that. I'm starting to think I should be like Kirill Kanaev and just use a plate. Just search the weather for Valladolid. It says 96% humidity. But I'm in Tordesillas, which I think is a lot different from Valladolid. And I also smoke in the room, so smoking should dry the air out. A lot. It's a mysterious world, the one we live in. Ah, el perrito. Ahora vuelve la mami. Sí. There we go. I said it. She's back. I'll be back in a second. Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, I mean, I have a whole box of AK paints. Thing is, I shouldn't really need AK paints because I'm adding the white I'm using is so flat, which is pretty freaking thick. So I don't know, man. Oh yeah, sure. Let's do that. All right, so that's right. So I do have to thin the paint a little bit myself because otherwise it doesn't flow out. But okay, it is looking better. Because the thing with my painting is that my technique works really freaking well, but it needs full coverage out of the paints. So if for some reason I'm working with paint that is not giving me full coverage, I get a stroke because my entire style of painting just doesn't work anymore. But it's working now. So I guess I did need a thicker paint. I should try using Chimera again. Technically, the model is a statue. I gap filled a bunch. Like, the actual original mini is a statue. It's not actually a person. Okay, I like it. Sí. ¿Puedes venir un segundito? ¿Puedes venir un segundito? ¿Qué parece?
A mí me gusta muchísimo. Me gusta muchísimo. A mí me parece preciosa, la piel es preciosa, los metálicos son preciosos, el pelo es precioso. A mí esta mini me parece un bombo.
¿Es verdad?
De verdad te lo digo. A mí me gusta muchísimo, mírala. ¿La miras por donde la mires?
Yo no sé qué estoy buscando yo ahora mismo, por amor. Porque hasta que no lo encuentro nunca me va a gustar
Yo
nada.
creo que en este tipo de minis no lo puedo.
No lo sé.
Y esa piel me flipa, ¿eh?
Esa también.
Sí.
Bueno, no
Muy,
sé.
muy exquisita.
Puede ser que soy ciego. Ciego.
Absoluto. Empezaste conmigo y ahí te encaminaste.
Contigo es cuando he perdido. Después. Eres tan bonita, amor, que nada se compara a ti.
¿Sabes que no me puedo duchar?
Ah, ¿cómo no? Tenemos uno
Porque
lleno.
de que te duchas, las desperdigas por el baño. Había 2 en el baño.
Hay gente que habla español en chat.
Me alegro, pues que te escuche. Que te pongan en sintonía. Coño, me voy, que no quiero ver. Para ti.
See, when the paint actually covers, my painting looks like magic. When it doesn't, it looks like scheiße. Yeah, I need to try Chimera again. Need to get my whole Chimera set out on the man. I'm gonna have to clean the desk tonight. Well, maybe not tonight, but tomorrow maybe. Yeah, tomorrow I can clean the desk. Have you tried the new opaque BBDs? Hello, Gon. How you doing? Take care, Chibi. I like them and I don't. Why don't you like them? Ah, there is no primary? Wow, okay, that sucks. Well, I guess I'm gonna be using AK again. At least until the weather doesn't fix itself or something. I really dislike painting with anything thinner than base coat. I think my K paints just arrived. Well, enjoy them. You will. They're not perfect paints, but they do cover really well. I honestly think I'm gonna end up doing a giveaway for the game color paints I have, because I don't really see myself using them. Yeah, but see, the paint thinned out again. I don't know what's happening to this palette. There's a ghost. Might be. You have experiences with ghost busting? Yeah, yesterday while in bed, Jennifer scared the shit out of me. Cause we were next to each other in the bed, and she said something like, "You have such a cold hand," she told me. And I was like, "I'm not touching you." And she was like, "What?" So she was feeling a cold touch. Bonsoir. Tu parlais un petit peu de français ou pas de tu? Je parle un petit peu de français, mais je ne peux pas français comme je parle l'anglais. Je t'entiends. Je te peux entender. Entendre. Entend. Was it the dog? No. No, the dog was on my side of the bed. Chill Touch in 5th edition ironically doesn't require physical touch. It's a ranged spell. Thank you very much for your incredibly nerdy contribution to the chat. Okay, Goldwyn. Do you have a Patreon level suitable for ghosts to learn? Well, I think Scholar or Dungeoneer would be good. Because they don't have to interact directly with me. Adept and Inner Circle, no, because we would have to schedule classes and stuff. I think a ghost wouldn't be as interested. I would probably end up in jail, Gimli. That's what I'm gonna do. It's looking better. Hello, hi. How you doing? Hi, wait, you're a pharmacist? You might know about this. Do you think... Do you think distilled water has more chances of going through the paper of the palette, therefore making the paints wetter compared to tap water? I'm not. But you work in a pharmaceutical you know? You know chemistry. I don't know. Do you know chemistry? What a fantastic way, I don't fucking know. What a great way to say I don't fucking know. Would require testing. Well, I guess we are testing it. Because since I've been starting to use distilled water, my paints are getting wet, like super wet, super quickly. Like I don't know. Like, is the molecule composition of a particle or whatever of water different if it's normal water or distilled? I guess it is. This water is deionized. Is distilled water deionized? Well, at least the shield looks good. Maybe there is already a study on it. I don't know. This is mysterious. But either way, doesn't matter too much. No, I don't remember when I bought it. Which month? But I don't think it's an issue with the palette because the sponge is new and the paper has always worked. So, I don't know. I actually think it's the water. I think the water breaks up the pigments rather than keeping them together. What's the issue exactly? My paint turns into water very quickly on the palette and becomes almost unusable as a base coat, no matter what paint. Like even the golden so flats, which are thicker than me after a week without, still get watery. Hello, guy. Happy New Year, Gold. The kind of art... I don't know if... you can answer in French, Ironas. You can translate it for me. Because Goldwyn is using a translator. The kind of art I do is miniature painting. And the style, I would say, is impressionistic. No, because I would have to remake the entire palette, Quindley. It would take like 20 minutes. So I have to repaint the skin. Because if I touch it now, like... What I was... if I touch it now, it just doesn't work. So I have to repaint the skin entirely. That is fantastic. But it's alright. I am a trooper after all. This is freaking annoying though. Eh? But again, I'm using... I don't know, newer, thicker paints. Yes, you should dilute the varnish and you should also never varnish with a brush. Does it need a bedtime start? No, but I have to change the sponge, squeeze the water out of the sponge, add normal water to the sponge, replace the paints. Not that quick. Hello, cara. Ok, aquí me dice agua destilada desionizada. Así que es destilada y desionizada. I like how you tried to make squeezing a sponge sound like 3 tasks. It is. It is. it's too late now. In 10 minutes, I'm gonna end the stream. I don't think we're gonna keep going on this lady. She has so many layers of paint on her. Actually, while I'm here, instead of wasting time with paint that doesn't work on a mini that is too much paint on it, well, no. I was like, let's pick a model to paint next, but I don't think we can do that. That sounds like at least 5 tasks. Why are you making fun of me? Okay, it's been a long day, dude. I'm tired. I'm old. I'm old. I am old. I'm old. I was like, let's try to look for the squad mini to paint next, but I only have dwarves, so there's not much to look for. It's just dwarves. Just dwarves. Nothing else. Just freaking dwarves. Just freaking damnable dwarves. So I think I'm just gonna end the stream at this point because I can't paint, and by the time I get a sponge working, I can't. It's time to go offline. Quindly, if you allow me, look. If you allow me, Quindly, I'll do it. I got this guy to paint. This guy to paint. If you'll allow me, I'll paint it live on the Reaper streams. I am just gonna be happy to do that, you know? Because it takes time off from my commission painting, and I can use the Reaper streams to do some amazing high-level painting. Because it's not a Reaper mini, but if we paint this guy on Reaper stream, it's gonna be like 3 months. But we can do it, I don't care. If you want to, we can do it. Well, okay then. Next week, we're gonna be painting this guy. A dwarf that just killed a goblin that looks like me. In the morning, when Jennifer comes to wake me up, that's what she finds in the bed. And I'm like, let me die. So yes, we can do this guy. I don't give a shit. Look, it even has happy little rams on the thing. That's a nice mini. I could enjoy painting this one. Especially that is an outrun mini, yes. Yeah, when I'm on a deadline though. I do it because I'm on a deadline, not because I feel like it. But yes, let's do it. Like, if you guys want me to paint dwarves, I'll paint a fucking dwarf for you guys. So that can lighten my load on the commission painting side. So you get that one next week. I love lightening my load. So, I guess we found out what we're gonna be painting. We have discovered the issue with my palette. We made lots of funny jokes and overall made your evening incredible. So I think we can call this a successful live stream. Successful live stream. And I'm just gonna fuck off at this point, and I'll be seeing you all next week or Friday on my own stream. We're gonna be finishing this lady. Hopefully also with a palette that works, because I am freaking sick. Like, for example, the lights on her skin, even though they don't look bad, they are not the color I wanted. The color I wanted was a lot yellower. But when it dries grayish, and that is driving me through the wall, not up it, through it. So, like, you can imagine how frustrating it is. So, I'll be seeing you all on my own stream Friday, or next week with the big dwarf. So everybody's happy. Take care, everybody. I love you. You are amazing. And you're beautiful as well.